Hello, everybody. My name is Apoorv Chaturvedi, and I'm grateful. We are very thankful that you could join us. So I believe we have all the resources who are required for the demo with us, and we would like to introduce our automated GST connector, which is been done in collaboration with Hazel, and it's been inspired by the goal, the profit beyond measure, the out of crisis. So the first 10 minutes would actually be on the demo, and after that we will show you the connector, and then we will open it up for the team, uh, to ask us questions. So hello. So we started here, and with this we start our demo. So this is the core. So what has been the core philosophy of the team is actually, first of all, is we have actually looked at standardization, which is reduced supervision. We have looked at standardization, which is reduced supervision, which has been inspired by Deming. We have looked at identifying the bottleneck constraints as done in the goal, the RAM of the client machines, the time bracket of filing the returns, and the large number of systems. We've also looked at not to carry the error-prone data for report processing further, and the scalable module has been built up like a bulb holder, and which can be replicated across a large number of ERPs. Currently, the GST filing bottlenecks are as follows. First of all, is the monthly data load. So, for a number of companies, there's a discrepancy between GSTR1 and GSTR3B. There's a lot of stress on the system at the end of the fiscal month, and there are a lot of monthly aggregates which are used specifically for B2CS, HSN summary, which makes the reconciliation very difficult. We're also looking at cases of poor quality of data, which is incomplete data, wrong data credit notes, wrong reference numbers, and master data HSN code. So what is the Turbo Data solution offer? It basically processes the orders as they come. So we are looking to increase the frequency of processing. So how it has been done is to reduce the time of the incremental data load and to keep history. We are looking to catch the errors as they process. So we basically clean the data, process the data, and then only we make the reports. So that has been done through normalization and the master data management. And we have also looked to standardize the processing time. That means minimize the extraction time, minimize the upload time, and minimize the report generation time. Right, it's the same way as Toyota would have actually done the job, so we have replicated it in our product. Scania is actually a European truck manufacturing company using a module of about 2,500 core parts. It is able to generate any kind of truck. So we have used the same concept. We have made a sort of a bulb holder, and that bulb holder you can fit in any ERP like SAP, Navision, Oracle, and we have used Tally as a standard. And this has been actually been possible due to normalization and then plugging in only the required fields in the database. So this module is very scalable. So how is it actually different from any other ERP? So like for example, Tally ERP is a market leader, right? And people are filing taxes either offline or through MS Excel or JSON output. There is very little or no data cleansing before the taxes are filed, and there is manual effort involved in filing the taxes. There are data entry errors. And in our case, what is happening here is where business logic is matching with the Tally GST reports. There is automated system for filing of all the GST reports, and it can be used across multiple ERPs, and there's data audit facility. So we are sort of followers, and we are taking it up from there. Just one second. Hello. Yeah. So then now we next come down to the next slide, which is actually the summary of the change. So how is it going to be different from the other systems? So in other source systems, what actually happens is that you extract the data from the source system, then you make the GST report, and then make the GSP partner portal. And in this particular case, you basically extract the data from the source system, put it onto a flat file, and after the data cleansing, you basically make the GST reports. So the core structure is as following. You have say multiple data sources. You have XML and ODBC extract. Then you code all the business logic from these sources. the GST logic, and then thereafter make the reports after data compression and SQL reduction. So you have got these multiple. So this is the core data element. So what is the actually the the value proposition? So first of all, sir, we are looking to eliminate the JSON and the Excel export, which results in manual errors. Second is we are looking to eliminate the joins between the last transaction systems, the source system. We are looking to eliminate the complexity of understanding SAP, Tally, Ramco, and other source systems. There are a lot of complex manual spreadsheets for GSTR1, GSTR2, GSTR3A, which are there. We are looking to eliminate that. That will all be online. And then hanging of various source systems while extraction of the data. We are looking to reduce the data extraction times. The business logic coding, actually you don't need to do it because it's completely online system. You can work with multiple ERPs, and basically it is the length of the code and the reporting data size has been reduced. So once the length of the code and the reporting data size has been reduced, I can process a lot more information and find out a lot more errors. You can make highly complex reports at the database level. So we have done that, and the data refresh time for the reports has been crashed so that multiple concurrent end users can work across the system. You're looking at ease of tax filing because it's a completely online system. So the end user will not have to worry about various source systems, whether it's SAP, Navision, Oracle, or so forth. You can have multiple ERPs on one platform. You can handle large number of data loads across multiple this thing. It's easy deployment. It's point and click. The number of concurrent users, used for the reports, it can be done, and you'll be able to report on the errors. So it's a single platform for GST analytics and GST reporting is what we are looking at. So what is Urban Data? Basically, GST entail is it's minimal supervision. There's a reduced processing time, reduced number of errors, value in terms of standardization, multiple ERP plugins, and the costs are going to be, you don't need specialized high-end connectors for SAP, Oracle, Navision, and so forth. And it will be a one-stop shop for CAs and VSFOs, for filing. So you don't have to worry on the platform. The speed of reporting is going to be in terms of use. So, we are looking at use. It's going to be very easy to deliver, deploy, and use. Convenience in terms of maintenance, low risk and usage in terms of use, and lively and interactive presentation information in terms of use. So speed of reporting, basically I'm compressing the data and minimizing the code incremental data load. I can have maximum number of reports and with minimal amount of RAM. You can deliver it using FTP, email, or a web link. You can work across multiple platforms. It's built in SAP, Oracle connectivity, and the entire thing is basically requiring .NET framework or a flat file for actually usage. Easy use. So auditing and error handling is part of the solution. Easy to use interface is a single interface for handling all the configurations. You can configure your date for incremental. So the entire thing is based on that I should be able to audit my taxation data on a daily basis, which is actually to enable that you're able to capture the errors as quickly as possible. So you can configure the dates for incremental data load. You can automatically, and once the data extract is being taking place, there'll be a minimal load on the system when you're extracting it on a day-by-day basis. This product has actually already been used by Kurlon for consolidating more than 87 locations data. You'll have audit details of all the locations, and you can this thing. The lower refresh times basically means that maximum number of reports can be generated, and you can also have error handling, auditing of the reports. And again we are looking at minimum reload time. Therefore, GSTR1, GSTR2, GSTR3 reports can be generated simultaneously. The most important thing is the extraction time has been minimized. Extraction time has been minimized so that there's minimum chance of error, there's minimum load on the RAM of the machine. and you can use it across multiple systems. Now I next come down to the demo for the GST integration. So the extractor is basically going to use a maximum amount of 1 GB RAM, and the business logic is actually going to match with the Tally GSTR reports. The deployable file is less than 45 MB. The single interface, minimal time. It's very easy to maintain. So now I first look at the first type of data discrepancy error which actually comes. So for example, if I look at say MK Industries here and I look at it here, now in one particular voucher the GSTN number has been given, and the second voucher the GSTN number has not been given. Now what Tally allows is that you can have multiple GSTN numbers for the same party, but you can also miss out on the GSTN details on certain occasions. So what will happen here is that while this will have its details filed in CDNR, but in this particular case it will all go to B2CS. So you can have a wrong filing because a party cannot be registered as well as unregistered at the same time. So we will give you a special audit report to check the registered client having B2CS and B2CL entries. Now I come down to the nil rated invoices entry. So like for example, this is our output and this is what the tally's output is, right? And if we look at this output, so we find that there is one particular entry which is more in our case. So now we need to investigate as to what is happening, as to why this particular entry is coming out extra. So once we go down to the history, you actually find that this particular order number 3, 2017-2018 has actually been missed by Tally. So now let's go down further as to why it is happening. So when I look at the voucher, I can have 3 different data discrepancy points. My reference date can be wrong. These 2 ledgers can be non-GST ledgers, right? So now I first check whether these 2 are non-GST ledgers. So wherein I find, suppose I take the rate difference, we find that this is a GST ledger, right? So at the end of this process, this was a GST ledger, precision fasteners was a GST ledger, the rate difference is a GST ledger. So that means that there's a problem with the original invoice entry. So since this reference number was not typed in properly, therefore Tally missed the complete GST number. So this is how on a daily basis the end client will have to find out where the data entry errors have taken place and take it from there. Now I'll give you a second, which is actually a pretty common thing. See, for example, you look at this particular ledger entry, DPB premium GST 5%. Look at this HSN code. Now this HSN code is wrong because HSN code has to be minimum 6 characters, 6, 8 or 10. Right. Now in this particular case, what has happened here is put in a wrong HSN code. So the HSN master would be maintained by the GSP provider. So we will pick it up and those errors will also happen. So for example, for this particular client, the HSN summary of the end client was wrong through Tally, but what was given through the GSP partner is correct. This is the sort of the complete process flow. So the entire team would be given the complete process flow based on the business logic, and you will be given the error checkpoints with which to actually audit the data. So your firm or the partners would be actually investing in resources. So we will give you the complete documentation like this. This documentation, say for example, GSTR1 B2B handles 0 rated, nil rated, export, exempted, how each one of these vouchers is going to be handled, and we would need the sign off from the partner as to this business logic. So this is exactly how Tally is replicating it. Okay, so this is how I'm giving it. I'm just going through this. So now let's look at this particular voucher. With this particular debit note, now this is referring to a nil rated invoice, but the reason code has not been given. So can anyone guess where this voucher will go? So this voucher will actually go not into CDNR, but it will go into nil rated. Right, so this is where it becomes tricky. Right, so this same logic we have incorporated into our product. If I look at this one, Now this particular voucher was missing. So this particular voucher was missing because the GST is not applicable for this particular ledger. Again, we have incorporated this logic. Now let's look at this particular debit note. Right. Now in this particular debit note, you see don't have any reference number or the original invoice date, and you don't even have a reason. So you don't have a reference number in the original invoice date, and you don't have a reason code. So this is not ignored by Tally, but it's actually put into GSTR1 B2B, as you can see. Okay. So with this, then I come to the end of my brief this thing, and I will now show you how the extractor will work. So the extractor is very simple. It's like this. You'll have to open your Tally. We will do the configuration for you, and this is the extractor, and you simply have to press this button. These are the dates for your incremental data load, right? And you can set up your incremental data load dates and actually load the data for any number of days. So suppose I've got 50 Tally locations, so 50 locations, they will simply just load that for a particular date, and the output will come as a flat file. And once that output comes in as a flat file, then it has to be uploaded. So I will now actually show you how the upload process will take place. Just one second. So now I go down to my taxpayer on the site. I've got this code which is 644654. I log in. Then I look at the list of the taxpayers. So each one of you who's going to become a partner for the Hazel will be given a username and a password. So that Hazel will be giving it to you. And I request it, last active this thing. Then I look at the Tally connector. I'm looking at import from Tally. I simply choose that flat file. So I'm just picking up this November one, and I say open and upload and process. So now you see what is happening here is it's automatically processing the entire thing. Entire data warehouse is being loaded. And the end client does not have to do so. It's cleaning the data, it's processing it, it's making all the GST reports. Right. So I will just go through it very, very slowly. Now what I do here is I open my Tally, and for a period between 1/11 oops 2017 to 1, this is the 1st December, so I pick it up for 1 month. Now you can actually see how much time is Tally actually taking to open up for that given fiscal month. In that period of time, my entire Tally hangs, right? And here what's happened here is it's already loaded. So I'll now explain the numbers. So these are the numbers which you're getting it from the current data load, right? So from the current data load you will actually get this numbers. Now I'll explain each one of them. So you're getting 353 here. Now look at it carefully, and you've got 7 data entry errors. Now these 7 data entry errors were due to the spaces in the HSN code. So if I look at it, or in this thing, so they have been taken care of in the product. Now this nil rated invoice is 1 here, but in our output is 2. So we will actually explain what is happening here. Right. So next I go down to my GSTR invoice, my outward invoice. I pick up November. I pick up 2017. I pick up outward invoice, and you get the complete summary. Okay. Now I go down to the other details. So I see each one of these invoices. So this is the screen which the team can see on a daily basis. This will also, you'll also have the base data. We will give you the history data. So I now look at the prepare and the upload invoice. So this is the same case which we had seen in this particular slide. You had 4,48,000 and 7,72,000. This was the missing invoice, right? That's why you are getting the additional. So you remember in this particular slide, we had actually shown you that if I go down here, this one. So I had shown you the extra entry, and that extra entry was coming because Tally had missed this particular ledger. So it's the same entry which is coming in here. So there should be zero discrepancy between the turbo data, Hazel GSP, and your Tally outputs on a daily basis. At any point in time, you can save and upload, as in here. Once you save and upload here, so I can pick up any invoice and I can actually save and upload, and then once I save and upload, then it's automatically filed at the required date and time. So I pick this up here, and this is uploaded invoice. So suppose it's like this. I pick up, just 1 second, sorry, I pressed on the wrong key. So I prepare and upload this invoice. I can pick up any invoice and I can edit it. I can edit it, I can deploy it, and I can put it up onto the final this thing. So I can here, and then I can edit it, and I can edit it, and once I edit it, then I can actually save and upload. So save and upload is not enabled here because it's a sandbox. So with this, sir, I come to the end of my brief demo, and now I can open it to the questioning. Yes, sir. Now team can ask us questions. It's basically through. Hello.
Yeah, just
Hello. हाँ मनु बोलो.
okay. Wait, I'm just looking it. So, is it possible, like to modify an amount from here,
हाँ सर, आप
or we have to
modify भी
change it
कर
in Tally
सकते हो.
only?
नहीं सर, हम आपको actually recommend we would recommend that you change it in Tally and then upload, but it is possible
हाँ,
to amend the
हाँ, वो तो
because otherwise you'll have a two different balance sheet and profit and loss numbers.
हाँ. Mhm.
So you can change it and then upload it again and then do it. But the thing here is like the firm will give you all these connectors, so you don't have to depend on the source system. SAP done, it's all automated. And on here you'll be maintaining all the history, and from here you'll come to know where it is, where there's an error. So for example, if I pick this up, I can actually edit
Okay.
it, and you can edit it
Okay.
here.
Suppose.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just related to this. Suppose in case, like in the Tally, suppose if in some entries wrong, like the place of the instead of we enter something else. So, do we need to edit in edit in Tally first and then do here, or we can directly?
The place of supply.
So, is there any core or non-core fields which is anything can be modified here, or few things like?
No, sir, you can modify everything here. So I will link you up with the GSP partner,
Okay.
and you can actually
Okay.
modify it here itself and then submit it.
Okay. Okay, okay.
Approval
So is
is
there any
Ramki
logic like,
here.
hello? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, yeah. Go on. I'll ask later.
Okay, fine. Okay, so I was just like inquiring, is there any inbuilt system, like suppose in case if I achieve um, every state have a code in Nifty. So suppose if I've mentioned GST number as like 08 XXXXX, and I've entered the wrong state because like it happens many times by the accountants, they put the wrong address. Is there a system they can identify like this it is wrong according to this GST number?
Yes, sir. So the state name and the state code currently we are taking it from the day book, the transaction, because we had
Sure.
to match it with tally. But we can keep a for because a party can have multiple states,
Right.
multiple GSTN numbers, multiple states.
Mhm. States.
So there is that is a config. So in case you have not configured tally accordingly, then you will have to depend upon the input data only for here.
Okay.
बिकॉज एक पार्टी का हाँ क्योंकि मल्टीपल जीएसटी नंबर ये है ना.
हम्म, ठीक है. So इसके अलावा मतलब क्या लॉजिक्स हैं? What are the logics like which it checks itself?
I mean, what are the other logics which it checks itself? So sir,
Like
see, I've shown you some
to reduce
samples.
error.
Errors are
Yes.
basically errors. See, the thing here is one is going to be the master error, HSN summary. Second is going to be
Right.
a
HSN one.
GST. A registered is going to an unregistered party. The third, of course, is
Right.
that it's the entire business logic of tally which we have replicated. So wherever there is, you find that there are increased number of credit notes. Like for example, I've partitioned my tally and then I file it next month. So it will not find any reference sales invoice number. So it will miss all those credit notes. But in our case, you'll find out, okay, fine, all those credit notes are there.
Okay. Okay, so I was going back to the call. So you have mentioned that like in case if we have entered the 4-digit HSN code, it might show a issue,
Haan, sir, because it's wrong. Na?
right?
So tally will show you
नहीं,
the HSN summary, but it's actually wrong. It should not, because GST site will accept it.
हाँ क्योंकि वो नहीं उसका भी एक नोटिफिकेशन था. So in case if your turnover is like up to 5 CR, so उसमें allow होता है if you can enter 4 digits of HSN.
Just one
So
second. So we'll have to get back to you क्योंकि जो हमें feedback आया है from the Hazel team is that 4 digit का नहीं हो सकता है क्योंकि उनके HSN master में नहीं है.
ठीक है, ठीक है, एक बार मैं भी चेक कर लूंगा नोटिफिकेशन, so जिससे we can reach to a point
नहीं, but
on
there is
this.
a lot of, see, I'll tell you where there are complication with the many of the end clients of facing. They have an item code and they're assigned a wrong HSN code. That's the
वो तो
problem.
होता है.
So that you can solve it because we'll keep the master with us.
ठीक है, that's it from my side.
Hi, Apurva, Ramki here. Sorry, I joined in late. We'll just take your help on the copy of the recording later. I just wanted have one question. Where as I see, entities may have a problem storing the data in an organized format properly, especially because GST requires the data to be kept for a long period of time, and organizations uh, may not have the best practices in place to store the data required. So is it possible to store the invoice-wise sales and purchase data
Yes,
online
yes,
somewhere?
yes. This is what we have said. Now we're keeping the history because if for
Okay.
B2CS HSN summary, you have to give an aggregate. So for example, if I pick up an outward invoice for November 2017, and if I pick up the other details, right now, because we are picking up the raw data. So if I look at this raw data, If I match this raw data, this is your document summary, right? So
Okay.
if I pick up this thing, are you able to see this audience view? So if I click for
Yeah.
the outward supply, this is showing to me 79 to 92, right? And if I pick
Okay.
up uh, the document summary details on the tally here, and I enter it here, so 79 to 92. So this system is designed in such a way that we'll pick up your raw data, which includes GST as well as non-GST invoices.
Right.
And then after it has to be cleaned. So if I simply take an Excel input and then file my GST, I'll get a wrong answer because this document summary will never be made. That's wrong.
Right.
If I give you simply say GST-R1, B2B and so forth. So I have already missed out all my non-GST invoices. But the statutory requirement that the government is asking is to have even the non-GST invoice and the non-GST ledger details. That's the law.
Right.
So you have to report it. So we are keeping the storehouse with at the and on a portal which is here, and then you can look at it across the months. So you can look at it across October, November, like for example it here. You can look at it across October. Let me see whether we have October. बेटा हमारे पास September का ना? September we have. We just loaded some sample data. Just one second. We have September data. All that is going to be loaded here at the transaction level. So the whole thing is going to be for your firm. If your team decides to invest in it, you will have to go to your clients and say on a daily basis, we'll be auditing your data. So you simply load it, we'll be auditing it from here, correcting it, and then doing it. Because there are some things which Tally will miss out because of wrong entry of data, or any other ERP will miss out.
Okay. So basically, so this particular integrator is very specific to Tally.
नहीं सर, हमने Tally का एक सैंपल बना लिया, but SAP में फिट कर देंगे ना उसको. We will fit it.
Okay. Okay. But it will have to be given the rights to read the data in the backend.
So what is going to happen is we have the exact masters. So we will tell you, okay, fine, we need these fields, right?
Okay.
And they have to be put it up. So we have already made the SAP connector.
Okay.
So we have already made it for RVPN. We will tell you which are these fields, but the process flow sign off will be critical because we will follow the Tally business logic.
Okay.
Yes, all. So Navision, SAP, all will be plugged in. It's a bulb holder.
Right.
Because your firm can make an investment on this because Tally is a very safe bet. The business logic of Tally is very sound.
Okay.
So I'm confirming we'll be able to do SAP, Navision, all of them. Yeah.
And I approve. Thanks a lot. Just wanted to check if this error logs will be emailed or how will it come to the person?
Yes, sir,
like,
that they can
are
be
there
emailed.
any notifications?
Yeah, they'll be
Or
emailed.
are when the returns are filed, are there any notifications that go to any people and okay,
Yes, sir.
we've
Yes,
done
sir.
this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That will happen. Yeah. So I will get a written
Hi, Ramki.
confirmation from
One
the.
more thing, do we need to?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one more thing. Do we means this? Do we need to like install the M signer and for the DSC in this also, like for the digital signing from the digital signature? Do we need to have the system requirements
Yes, sir. So what I will do is I'll just
as
ask the
well?
GSP. But this is a GSP partner, so they will be doing the entire
Okay.
thing. So digital signature. One is going to be digital signature as well as emailing. So they have a comprehensive system. So this is going with the. So if your team decides to invest with it, it's a GSP partner. So all the statutory requirements will be taken care of. It's a safe bet.
Fine. Thank you.
This concept of GSP is still there, is it? I thought the ASPs and GSPs have gone.
No, no, no. The ASPs and GSPs are going to be there. ASP and GSPs are there because so actually what will happen more or less is, as we see, is that once the reconciliation process starts, people will go for automation. End clients will go for automation.
Correct, correct.
It will
Everybody
happen.
is
It will happen. See, I cannot this thing, but we are confident end clients will go for automation because the feedback from the GSP partner side and from various is that the quality of data which has been filed has not been up to the government's expectations.
correct. It's crap because I myself know our clients the way when we receive the payment remittance advices, I see the invoice number entered incorrectly, meaning if we use dashes and slashes, the client's payment team, or maybe which is many of them have outsourced their payments, they just skip the slashes and hashes and just use zeros or something like that. So
Yes.
obviously everything will get thrown into errors.
Yes, so for the end client, it's going to be an error. So it's so if the GoVisory team is looking to pursue this, then this could be a good line automation. Yeah, based on this demo, then I'll link you up and take it from there.
Okay. Yeah. Hi. Hi. This is Sharad here.
Hello, hi.
Hi, Ramki and Jaideep and Manu, can you, if there's any other questions or what do you feel about the product, can we just at least have some kind of what is your initial feel of the product? So Ramki, if you could start with you, then Jaideep, then Manu, then Rajesh, are you there? Okay, he's not there.
So
if you
okay,
can start.
yeah, so firstly, my sincere apologies. I joined in late. So Apoorv, I just would request you if you can send me the link to the recording, because I really find this very interesting to understand how, now that I understand GST a little bit more than what I did about 5 months back. So I'm going through it on a day-to-day basis. So I am seeing how good this product is. So I would request you to send me the recording. Prima facie, I find this to be pretty good. I often wondered how an entity will store its data, because in case of tax data transactions, the ERPs often change in large companies very few every few years, but often the data in the meantime from the old ERP gets lost. So if we have a system where the data can be archived properly for future reference, it's just fantastic. And rest, of course, Apoorv has shown a few controls, effective controls, which Tally can't pick, but this integrator is picking. So obviously, it's really going to help a lot of clients.
Hi Sharad, this is Rajesh here.
Hi, Rajesh.
Hi. Sorry, my microphone was on mute, so I just checked. So I was listening to the conversation and the presentation by Apoorv, which is quite good. I mean, I'm still new to GST, but just one question. I mean, how different is this system from an inbuilt system in SAP, or you go to Navision, or there might be a system where they might be having an inbuilt GST which they have programmed. So how different is this one?
No, sir. In this case,
from what you
what
see?
is
I know Tally doesn't have an inbuilt system, but still.
no, sir. The thing is that see SAP and Navision. One is that those systems are very expensive. One is going to be they're going to be very
No,
expensive.
I'm talking about companies who already are working on SAP and Navision.
So
and,
those systems are very expensive. So one is that
okay.
that is going to be your first thing. The second thing here is if the company is working across multiple platforms, then it is going to find it very difficult.
Correct.
Okay. The third thing here is, and this is with a number of these custom ERPs, and a software developer is given a GST system, but has the GST system been validated? So Tally is a good source to validate it, whether your business logic is correct.
Correct.
I'll give you an example. Say there's an insurance company which has done it, right? And that insurance company has done it. So how do we know that that return which is being filed is correct? So it took us some time to actually crack this because we were not sure of whether there are data entry errors or business logic errors. So I think we are now close to finding out, okay, fine, that our business logic is matching with Tally. So this will be a safe system in which your team, if it decides to invest, it can say yes, we can promote this, and depending upon your commercial finalization with Hazel.
Okay. So the data for this system will be saved in the individual and the company server,
So
or
online
the data will
nahin,
be.
this is online, na? This is on the Hazel, so with complete
Online.
security also.
Okay.
So because I see as a virtual
Yeah, because-
CFO firm, yes sir, I need to handle a lot of heterogeneous data sources. I need to have a scalable system, one platform,
Correct.
and incremental data.
Correct. Correct. Yes, one more question. I think when you go with companies, there are like multinational companies and all, they keep separate statutory books, they keep management books, they keep elimination books and all that. So somewhere you mentioned about some company had extracted 87 entities data or the branch data and all that. So you are able to, the system is able to extract data from all these books, yeah. I mean, if a company is maintaining
So,
three kinds of books, a
not
management books, a statutory books, and an
yeah.
elimination books, or
So
so you are able to source all the
yes.
data from there.
Yeah, so this product, that same product has been put onto the cloud. This is a cloud-based system that we had done it for Tableau. And we can also make consolidated spreadsheets, so like companies come to us and say, okay, like I'll give you an example. This is one from one of our projects. So like now, if I look at it, this is the project. So this is a spreadsheet which they are making based on their trial balance and cost centers.
Right.
Now what they say is, now you have one data source. So once I extract and clean it, then I can actually automate these spreadsheets also. That's all possible.
Okay. Now, what I was saying is basically, sometimes the management data, they don't want it to be published anywhere. They just, you can extract the numbers, but they don't want it to be published anywhere, shown in a report format, other than it is an internal report. So I was just asking
ये
you
तो
about
आपको
that.
tax को file करना है. You have to file that tax. There's no other way. What else you will do?
Yeah, no, I'm saying it should not come in the spreadsheet level. So
that is between you and the end client. If your client says, look, you don't want it in spreadsheet, will not give it. You will give it to another source. That is your contract.
Okay. And this Tally 9 is still active in the market. I mean, is it still running? Tally version 9?
Tally is used by all the CAs in the country.
Okay. I have come from Dubai very recently, and
sorry,
and you don't get the version 9 in Dubai anywhere, Tally 9, because they have gone into some ERP and all that. So you don't get to buy a Tally E9, I mean version 9 license. I was just wondering whether the version 9 is still active in the market or not.
No, version 9 is only for GST, so the end clients would be using a prior version because UAE and Kuwait are implementing VAT.
Yeah. But what I'm talking about the Tally, because you don't get version 9 in Dubai, as far as I know.
The thing is, so because GST per se is an India concept, we took an ERP like Tally, which is very easily available. We get a lot of data and we made a product because we had to develop business logic very quickly. And Tally was a safe place because I could easily get a license. You can also get a license and you can develop the product. But you have to plug it in SAP and Navision. That we would do.
Okay.
But if we have cracked Tally, then we can crack SAP and Navision with these.
Yeah. Thanks, Apoorv.
Yeah, hi, Apurva. So,
Yes.
like after this GST 2 registration, so in case of any mismatches, like with the different vendors, so do it directly send the emails to the like vendors that there's a mismatch?
Yeah, so mismatches the emails. I'll have to, because this is coming from the GSP partner. So then I'll just check it up and they'll send back to you the details.
Okay, fine. And is it possible, like, see, we are using the cloud-based softwares, softwares like books and all. So, is it possible, like, to extract the Excel from there and upload it in this? Is there any
Yeah,
way?
but the problem with those cloud-based Excel is how do you make a document summary? Because it asks, see, the statutory requirement is GST as well as non-GST items and ledgers. Both have to be coming in.
Yeah, yeah. Nee, see, we are maintaining both these. We are doing the entries for both GST and non-GST items. But the software which we are using is the cloud-based, like QuickBooks, or you can say numbers, all these things.
So I'll
So,
have to look into that connector and get back to you.
okay, fine.
Because there are some clients which we found they were using Excel inputs and they would give the complete GST list. And then from there the partners were making it. That is wrong. You have to get the non-GST also details.
Right,
That's
right.
the law.
Yeah, because we have to enter the exempted or zero, say, zero GST products also.
Yes, yes. Everything. Or it'll all come into nil rated.
Apart from these, like this looks this looks good because this is the summary which we need just to file the returns.
Okay. So, sir, what I'll do is as a next action step, I'll mark Hazel the copy. I will send the copy of the recording, load it onto YouTube, and send Hazel the copy. And then for commercial finalization, because whatever investments your team is making, your firm is making, it should be done after commercialization, finalization with Hazel, right? And then we can take it up from there. Would that be sound? And I can.
Yeah, yeah,
Hello.
Apurva, that makes a lot of sense what you're saying. So I think is Jaydev there? I uh, is Jaydev there?
Hello, Mr. Mishra. Yeah.
Is Mr. Mishra there? Okay.
Okay,
My
sir.
first,
So can I close the meeting? Does anyone?
yeah.
Okay.
If anyone else has any comments, please let Apurva know. Or any questions, please send a mail to Apurva, copy me. So we'll take it from there
Yes.
on. Is Jaydev joined? Just joined or? Hello?
I want to thank your team for all the time, everybody, and for taking out time.
Thank
Good.
you, brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Thank
Apoorv,
you, sir.
and thanks,
Thank you,
Shadu.
sir.
Thanks
Thank
a
you, sir.
lot.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hello?
Any questions?
Just hold on. Do you have any questions, Jaydev? Okay, why don't you type the question to Apurva so he can read it? Okay.
Okay, I will mark it out and then take it from there.
Just hold on. I'll just tell Apurva that you have got some question.
Okay.
Just hold on. Apurva Mishra, Jaydev has just typed some questions. Can you look at it, please?
Yes, sir. I've
Because he can't.
copied it. I've copied it. So I've copied them here.
Okay.
I'll mark it.
Okay. Okay. So he's going to look at it and come back with that one. Like you think strength it is it to support multiple location? Feature of checker approval should strengthen. Yeah, multiple location should be there because it's just
No,
an
multiple
abstract.
locations, sir, it can support. No? It will be able to support it.
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, Jaidev, any other comments you have?
So, Mr. Maheshwari, I'll ask Hazel people to get in touch with you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, Jaidev.